All right. Here we go, guys and gals. And boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, drivers.
Welcome, people of the world, to the Loose Wheel Podcast, season number 2, episode number 25. Ethan is there. He's not in his lovely Bay Area or Arizona. He's
No,
off the coast of somewhere beautiful, as I
I
think
am on a
Jimmy
boat.
Buffett's song. But yeah,
I am on a cruise to Alaska right now, but the podcast grind never stops. We are still recording in my cruise ship room, and hopefully my family doesn't come back anytime soon.
oh, it's a Kenny Chesney song. My bad, not Jimmy Buffett. But anyway, going into the racing.
And now for last week's race reviews.
Quickly gonna go over Watkins Glen, Laguna Seca. We got Spain and Loudon, New Hampshire, on tap to review. So hour one, 25 BMW. They crashed in qualifying, had to go to a backup. Started from pit lane and had a drive-through. 40 Acura had a new pole record for their qualifying. I'm gonna go over this quickly. In GTP, 01 Cadillac passed him quickly, and then you had the 85 Porsche, and then the 24 led for a little bit in GTP in the first hour. LMP2 99 AO 11. The team, they're TDS now. They keep changing names. And then 52, that is the Inter-Europe pool with the other team that I can't think of car. GTD Pro was Reezy leading, and then Vassar Sullivan took over, and then GTD is Vassar Sullivan for the first hour. Right away, 18 gets aggressive with the 81 LMP, both LMP2s. They spin, 18 gets stuck and yellow, and then they get a penalty. The LMP2 leader at the start, they got a drive-through penalty for not being close enough to the GTP. 65 had a brake fire. I don't know what that that's the one, the Fords. And then the 47 GT car off yellow was sent by an LMP2 car. Hour two, you had a lot of pretty much everyone led. Both the Acuras, both of the Penske Porsches, you had the 24 BMW and the Whelen Cadillac, they all led. 52 and the 2 shed the lead based off a pit cycle. 14 led in GTD Pro, and then 12 passed the lead over to the 96 in GTD. The 31 spun. Hour 3 rain came at some point. Lead went from the 6 Porsche to the 7 Porsche, who decided to stay out during a yellow. 50 in LMP2, 52 2 United, and then the 88 AF Corsa entry, who would, I believe, lead for the rest of the race. GTD Pro went from Vassar Sullivan to Paul Miller to the 64 Ford, and then the 32 team of the Mercedes took the lead from the 96 Turner BMW. The 33 Ligier LMP2 crashed. A couple hypercar or GTP cars had a pit incident. The 44 Aston spun, then rain came, some pitted, and that just that was the first rain, so that kind of shook up the order a little bit. Your two of the class leaders, the 52 and the 14, were gapping and not maintaining pace on the restart, and they had a drive-through penalty. So yeah, that affected the racing a lot. 55 and 27 spun. I believe both GT cars. Yeah. And the 3 Corvette needed new front brakes on pit line. This is when about when the NBC coverage went over to Peacock, and the people of the where I get my notes from don't take detailed notes at all. So hour 4 track drives, GTP lead went from 7 to 6 Penske Porsches. Hour 5 and 6 I can combine these because there was a huge downpour which caused a red flag. It affected the GT cars order on the 40 who had stayed up before red just got passed on the restart with 15 or so minutes by the 7. 88 held the lead in LMP2. The 4 in GTD Pro and the 57 in GTD, what they did was they stayed out late and or they didn't pit before the rain, and they waited so long with the rain that you would want to be on dry tires. So all the people that had pitted for wets were kind of just screwed, to say this. Um, yeah. I'm looking at some here because I'm trying to think and I can't think. Or is GTD Pro, but I do not see them. The 4 was the first to cross the line in GTD Pro, but I think they got a penalty of some sort because they didn't win. That was the 27 Heart of Racing, and 57 they held the lead to the end. Before the red, a lot of cars went off track. The 31 Hypercar, 21 GT car, the 11 LMP2, and the 78 GT car. 10 Acura lost a wheel at some point. The 74 spun, and then the 120 Porsche and the 04 had drive time violations, and the 04 would have got me a pick point, but if they didn't have that violation. So yeah, there's Watkins Glen for you. Laguna Seca, great race to watch on the known network of CNBC. Yeah. Kurt, Alex Palou is on pole. Kirkwood passed him right away. And 2 separate incidents, Power and Rob went off on lap 1. VK spun soon after. And then green flag pit stops begun because that's what the strategy was, pit early today. Rossi had a huge undercut going from 4th to 1st. Lundgaard goes off into a slight spin. No, he goes off into a sign. I can't read my notes, which sticks onto his car. And then Felix Rosenquist just goes way off track, but as they're going to commercial, and they didn't show replay of it. So yeah, that was funny. Marcus Ericsson goes off the track. Newgarden had a drive-through for something. Luca Giotto crashes full course yellow. Some cars pit, which were the 26 of Herta, Rossi, Kirkwood, McLaughlin, Dixon. Dixon then scraped the wall on that stop. Dixon scraped the wall on pit entry, and McLaughlin hit him because he had nowhere to go. Of the people that stayed out, you had Palou, Award, Grosjean, Malukas, and Marcus Armstrong. Nolan Siegel spins caution, and then CNBC with the old, "Oh, we missed the restart." Yay. Pietro Fittipaldi hits Stingray Robb off the course. Agustin Canapino goes off the course. Fittipaldi then goes off the course himself. He gets a penalty for the Robb incident. Alternate strategy pits. Palou, which is the Palou group of staying out. Palou fell down to 3rd. behind Rossi and Herta, just ahead of Kirkwood and McLaughlin. Lowe then up to second. Ferrucci had a three people pass penalty for blocking. Alex Palou to the lead. Ericsson off again momentarily. Cars pit. Stingray Rob goes in the dirt. Armstrong goes on a dirt track expedition from contact from O'Power. Order of the cars are Palou, Newgarden, Herta, Rossi, and Grosjean. The McLaughlin just sends it on power and he spins his car. Lundgaard goes off and the corkscrew. He did a little flying. Newgarden goes off and goes down to fifth. Lucas, he had a flat tire and his good run. McLaughlin had a broken toe, not feet, but the car. Harvey had a motor issue, yellow. Kiffin Simpson spins after contact from Agustin Canapino, and Graham Rahal just T-bones him. He had nowhere to go. They rack 9 to go. 4 to go. Went over green. Canapino gets a penalty. Newgarden spins in his beached, and the podium was Palou, Herta, and Rossi. Was Romain Grosjean surprisingly missing the podium. And Ethan, before we get into Spain, and just after qualifying, a fan had breached security, got onto the track, and was taking pictures. Which,
yeah, I saw that.
You fan, you get chicken award for blowing, just being stupid. It's a stupid thing to do, but not really not really a significant chicken award this week. So yeah, you get it, fan. And there you go. Talk about Spain, Ethan.
All right, so I actually did not watch the Spanish Grand Prix first race this year. I did not watch. I apologize, but I can still tell you what happened. Watch the highlights. Seen plenty of things online. I'm practically an expert. All right. So, first lap, George Russell, not only did he manage to overtake his teammate Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen, but Lando Norris as well. So he went from fourth to first before the cars entered the second turn. Pretty crazy stuff there. Didn't last for long, guys. Max Verstappen was able to pass Russell into turn one a couple laps later. Also on lap 3, Leclerc and Carlos Sainz made contact while battling. And then, if you've been on the internet past few days, you've seen some things. I think they'll be fine, but that did happen. Didn't seem like a lot happened for a while. Next important thing to mention would be lap 17 when pit strategy started to come into play. George had a slow stop, and a few laps later, Lando and McLaren committed to attacking Max instead of defending George off. Couple laps after that, Lewis made an amazing pass on Carlos Sainz. A little bit of contact there, but it was a great pass. Stuck the move. On lap 24, Lando finally pitted, but he lost out pretty big. He was running in second, I believe, came out in fifth. So he started to work his way back up the field, got past Carlos for fourth on lap 27. Made easy work of Lewis on lap 32 for third place. On lap 35, he got past Russell on the outside of turn 3. Russell got the place back in turn 5 before Lando got it back going into that straight in the middle part of the lap. It was a really great battle to watch. You can go see it on YouTube. On lap 52, Lewis passed George around the outside of turn 1. His soft tires definitely helps him there, with George being on the hards. And then Max, he won. It was another win for the defending champ. Honestly, like from what I've seen, it seemed like just a thing of the best driver in a great car, Max, versus a great driver in the best car, Lando. And the better driver won the race. The strategy definitely also helps, but Max is just on another planet right now because we know that the Red Bull isn't the fastest car right now, but he's making it kind of seem like it is. So the top 10, Verstappen, Norris, Hamilton, Russell, Leclerc, Sainz, Piastri, and Perez. Very disappointing weekend for the both of them, Gasly and Ocon. And that was Spain.
Yeah. There you have it from the expert himself.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I didn't watch it, but from what I've seen online, it seemed like it was a solid race. Nothing insane, but wasn't quite a dud.
you want to talk about why you didn't watch the race?
Um, well, I was
That's
just
exactly what I thought.
yeah. I was just I was busy.
That certainly is a way to put it. Anyway,
Yeah.
before I get into New Hampshire, I'll give a number for Laguna Seca, 6.8 out of 10. Good
Solid.
race.
Very
Not
solid.
great. Was weird. Just an IndyCar race without Lee Diffie calling it is just wrong. Which Kevin Lee is very good. He is an A tier broadcaster, but Lee Diffie is S tier. And yeah, just there's a drop off. Yeah. Anyway, going to New Hampshire, Loudon, not London. Loudon. Uh, Elliott held his lead from the pole. He leads for 42 laps, and then Bell takes the lead, who goes on to win stage 1. Very anticlimactic. Stage 2, the yellow flag pit stops for the stage end. Bell, Logano, Truex, Barry, Mr. Chase Elliott. Your top 5. Bell leads coming out of the caution, green flag, pit stops. But hey, there's weather threatening. Something may happen. Todd Gilliland, he stays out long and leads, but until Martin Truex Jr. passes him for the lead. And then the one-win wonder of Daniel Hemrick in the Xfinity, in his whole NASCAR career, spins, caution. Big break for Todd Gilliland in the Pickle-mobile. At this point, Gilliland, Gregson, and Briscoe had not pitted. Under the yellow, Alex Bowman has smoke coming out of the pipes and has his first engine retirement in his Hendrick Motorsports career. That not fun for him. Most come under yellow. Hamlin, Logano, and Corey LaJoie stay out. Truex, Bell, Elliott, Blaney all take 2. And then the first one on 4 was Todd Gilliland. And then most of the rest take 2, and others take 4. Hamlin leads lap 154 crash between Kyle Busch and Noah Gragson. Hamlin wins stage 2. Stage 3, top 5, take 2 of Larson, Gilliland, Gregson, Cindric, Burton. The guys take 4, Hamlin, Bell, Blaney, Elliott, Logano. Truex had a long stop that took him out of contention for the win. Reddick and McDowell stay out. They lead. And then on the restart, Logano locks up and spins into the 9. Caution. Reddick holds the lead. Lap 200 restart. Reddick holds the lead. Lap later, LaJoie spins after self-created contact with Priest. Caution. Next restart. Larson and Reddick battle for the lead. Reddick clears. Hellman runs Larson out of the groove for a second. Truex crashes after contact with Keselowski. Lap 214, restart, weather close. Blaney second at this point. 2 laps later, Busch spins after contact from Stenhouse. Kaz hits Ryan Preece after reports of rain. Rain under yellow, red flag. Cars get a free stop of changing and making adjustments. So after 3 hours or something long, 2 hours, I think it's like 2 hours, we finally get to where we can run under yellow. So we do that for a couple moments. And yeah, Busch has an issue on crashes. LaJoie spins. This is all under yellow, by the way. So yeah, Reddick holds the lead on the lap 229 restart. Chastain spins. Some pit for adjustments and fuel because NASCAR's like, you can't change tires unless we allow you to, which is annoying. We'll talk about that later. Bell gets the lead with 60 to go. LaJoie spins. Bell holds lead on lap 40 to go restart. Huge crash, 37 to go. Noah Gragson just lost it under Dillon and Wallace. And then the 2 legacy cars of Jones and Nemechek, Cindric. Whoever was Ty Dillon was in the 16 this week, and Zane Smith were all collected. Everyone pits because you have to. Bell holds lead on lap 28, laps left, restart. Most of our spins, 18 to go. Everyone pits because you have to. 9 to go, restart. Dallas spins into Blaney, yellow. Keselowski spins on the next restart, yellow. Overtime, Bell wins, photo finish for second. 6 out of 10. And one thing I want to talk about here is the tire with the rain and dry tire. NASCAR was too controlling with the tires. Let the teams run what they want. Say if they want to come get tires when they want to, they can. If they want to change to dries before NASCAR wants to, they can. So yeah, that's what I want to see. Just NASCAR, go with control, make the teams decide. I think that's hopefully NASCAR learned for this race, and now NASCAR can say, okay, we can run maybe 30 minutes earlier than what we did. This worked fine. And with the caution, have it say, oh, if you still want to control tires or not, say, okay, we can put on rain tires before the lightning struck, and you would have had to delay the race. Maybe you could have got 10 more laps in or something like that. So you can just get the racing over quicker and be more lenient with things in the future. That's what I'd like to see. Will NASCAR do that? I don't know. We'll see.
And now for the news.
Time for the news, Ethan.
Yes. Are we going Formula One news first?
If you have Formula One news, you may talk about it.
I do. Few pieces of news, actually. Mr. Flavio Briatore, former recipient of a lifetime ban from Formula One, is back in Formula One. Crazy how that works. But if you remember, Flavio Briatore, he was the team principal of Renault back during the Crashgate scandal. If you don't know the Crashgate scandal,
Wikipedia
it, watch a YouTube video. But the TLDR is Renault had Nelson Piquet Jr. intentionally crash so Fernando Alonso could win the Singapore Grand Prix in like one of the years. like
I think it was
2006
07.
or 07. Yeah, one of those two. Anyway, huge scandal. Briatore gets banned from Formula One because he was the team principal during the time. He orchestrated what happened. Lifetime ban eventually got revoked, so he could have gone back to Formula One, but this is the first time he is back in Formula One in any capacity. What is his role, I hear you ask? Well, he is back with Renault, or technically Alpine, as an advisor. So he doesn't have like an everyday role type of thing, but he was in Spain. Maybe he will be traveling to every race, but he's not the team principal or anything like that. He's just an advisor, but he brings a lot of knowledge and leadership to an Alpine team that is really trending the opposite direction. Next piece of news, just a quick follow-up story from, I believe, last weekend. The FAA is not going to look into the flexibility of the wings of the cars, like the Ferrari and the McLaren and the Mercedes, like Red Bull wanted them to. So essentially, this is the FIA saying those front wings are legal. And if Red Bull wants to copy that design, they can. So we'll see that. Also, just really quickly, actually, I'll mention that last. Yeah. Mick Schumacher is going to test an Alpine this week in Austria. And I thought that was really interesting because, to me, with all due respect, Mick Schumacher is just not an F1 driver. But the fact they are having him test the car means that they think otherwise, or could potentially think otherwise. They're considering him. I don't know. Andrew, what do you think about that?
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. And then Helmut Marko basically said that Liam Lawson will join VCarb. He kind of yeah, I don't know. Like he kind of said that Ricardo was going to get replaced with Liam Lawson. Let me find the
Really?
yeah, let me see if I can find
How did I not
the
see
quote.
this?
Okay. He said the goal was that he, in this case Ricardo, would be considered for Red Bull with exceptional performances. That seat now belongs to Perez, so that plan is no longer valid. We will have to put a young driver in there soon. That would be Liam Lawson. That was a quote from Helmut Marko to Klein Zutang. I don't know. Yeah, that's a pretty telling quote, I would say. So after it looking like Ricardo was going to stay in the Red Bull family for at least another couple years, now I wouldn't be surprised if Lawson was announced for VCarb next year pretty soon. But again, it's also Helmut Marko. He kind of just says things. So we'll see. The last thing I wanted to talk about, more of a discussion than actual hard news, but we all know that Oliver Behrman is going to go to Haas. That's just like the worst kept secret in Formula One. But he's had a really horrible year in F2. So, like, what is the value of F2, I suppose? And what's really interesting to me is in an article from the race, Behrman basically was saying that the F3 car drives way more like an F1 car than the F2 car does. The F2 car is a completely different driving style. And to me, if F2 is going to be the step to Formula One, the driving style of that car needs to be the same as a Formula One car. What do you think about that? Like,
Uh,
that makes sense, right?
yeah, I agree. Formula 2, you see all these former champions not be able to step into Formula 1 after they win the championship. So Formula, I don't think it there's it's either one of two things. Formula 2 is failing as a development series, or the Formula 1 teams are failing to do to recognize of F2 what it is.
Hmm.
And I think it's the former more than the latter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of compare this to NASCAR a little bit because right now the Truck Series, which is NASCAR's third tier series, is closer to the Cup cars than the Xfinity cars, the second tier series. You've seen
Yeah.
guys like Zane Smith, Carson Hocevar, Todd Gilliland all come to mind recently as guys who have made the jump from trucks to Cup without any real Xfinity series. Uh, I can't think of the word like any real body of work in the Xfinity series.
Yeah.
So that's it's interesting to me how those both motorsports so different are facing the similar problems in
Yeah.
that.
That's
I
really
think it's
interesting.
more prevalent in F1 because you drivers have to just say, "Oh, you win the championship, go find something somewhere else." I think that's
Yeah.
more of a problem there than it is NASCAR. NASCAR, yeah, you'd like to have your second tier series drive closer to your first tier series than your third tier series, but that's not that big of an issue when you have the Formula 2 circus that it is.
Yeah. And building very good points there, Andrew. Um, but another part of this that I want to talk about as well is like Kimi Antonelli, he going straight from basically the fourth tier to the second tier, skipping that third tier, which is, at least according to Oliver Behrman, the closest thing to F1 without being F1 in terms of how the car drives. It'll be really interesting to see how he adjusts to an F1 car once he finally gets the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm ready to move on.
Well, you talked about earlier how Helmut Marko leaked some news. He was the only one to do that. In NASCAR land, Christopher Bell accidentally confirmed Chase Briscoe going to Joe Gibbs Racing in a press conference last Friday. The move happened on Tuesday, and when Christopher Bell realized he had slipped up, he had a look on his face. He's like, "Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that." Moment. So that was funny, but Briscoe going to Gibbs uh, isn't that surprising. Um, Joe Gibbs really wanted him. I don't know who said this, but it was a conversation between uh, Gibbs and Briscoe. Gibbs said, "If Truex is retiring, you're going to be our driver because I've heard you rumors where you go to Wood Brothers, go to Front Row, wherever. You're good. I want you for my team. I think Truex is going to retire. I gave him this deadline. We'll see. If he is, I want you." And Truex did retire. He got to get the guy he wanted, which is a little bit of surprise considering the pipeline. Uh, you have three prospects that are close to Cup ready. Sheldon Creed, which is kind of not there yet. I would have picked Corey Heim for that seat, to be honest. Impressive body of work in trucks and Xfinity so far. I would have picked him. You also have Chandler Smith, who I think is Cup ready or close to it. He might need another year, but he's shown pace in Xfinity. Or you could have gone one of the legacy guys, Nemechek or Jones, which Nemechek hasn't impressed this year at all. And Jones I don't think they would get Jones back, but I thought Corey Heim would have made the most sense. But yeah, that's a surprise, a surprise, but a welcome one. We'll see if any of the sponsorships head over from Stuart Haas to Gibbs. And one final thing for me, they're going to keep the 19 because Johnny Morris, Bass Pro Shops guy, is staying with the team, and he wants a 19. So it's interesting because it was thought that whoever gets that drive it won't bring Bass Pro Shops money because they're gonna go sponsor, put more money into RCR and Noah Gregson, but no, they're sticking with Gibbs, sticking with Briscoe. So that's kind of interesting. Ethan, do you have any thoughts on all this news?
How do we know he was talking about Chase Briscoe and not Chase Elliott?
Well,
Hmm.
Elliott had a contract for a while. I think
I know.
2026. Yeah,
I'm just joking.
joke, little jokester.
But
Uh,
yeah, I agree with you. Corey Heim, I love Corey Heim, but Briscoe's a fine driver. It's not. It's an okay move. You know, it's an
yeah.
okay move.
Well, yeah, we'll see if Briscoe flops. This could be the end of his competitive career. But I don't think he'll flop all that bad.
Yeah.
Um, Final piece of NASCAR Cup news here. Gene Haas to continue with new Haas factory team in 2025. Retains one charter and it will have Haas automation sponsorship. Two Xfinity cars looking for sponsorship on that. Still with Ford. Um, it's likely that they're going to bring Cole Custer up because his dad is the vice president of something or another, or president at Haas factory team now. So yeah, uh, I think they might try to keep Barry because with Barry, his crew chief Rodney Childress, who's great at crew chiefing, he said he wants to stay with them. So yeah, we'll see what they do. The Xfinity could be anyone. Ethan, do you have any thoughts on this?
Not particularly.
And good thing that Haas is staying in NASCAR. That means it was Stewart who wanted out, which is kind of a trend with things. Okay.
Well,
Well,
actually, I will say that we were talking about how this could impact like the Formula One team. Now that Haas is staying in F1, I don't think it really means anything for the Formula One team.
I agree, Ethan. Another thing I want to touch up here before we move on to IndyCar news is Tony Stewart he was quitting. Kevin Harvick mentioned him being an absentee owner, kind of in his final years on his podcast, saying like he just wouldn't show up to things, and he had people do his job as the owner for him. And the same thing kind of happened in SRX. He's like, after I think 3 seasons, he's like, okay, I'm done with this, done all I need, and just stopped. So yeah, but SRX was a great series. I miss it. Um, IndyCar news: Dale Coyne Racing's latest driver, Toby Sowery, the former what is now Indy Next driver. Uh, well, he'll be racing at Mid-Ohio. First time this year, Dale Coyne Racing going with inexperience outside of Nolan Siegel. Yeah. Ethan, not a lot of
Yeah.
thoughts there. Moving on to sports car racing. I think this move isn't as kind of insignificant but I feel like this is like just the first domino that's gonna fall. Pippo Durrani and Action Express Racing are splitting after the 2024 season. You already know Chip Ganassi and Cadillac are splitting. It's likely that Andretti, WTR Andretti, they're going to take the over Cadillac. Who's going to be driving those two Cadillacs for them? Will Action Express still be around? I'd think so. Which driver's going to come over with Andretti and Taylor? Who's going to stay at Acura? Who's going to be the new team at Acura? Will it be Ganassi? Will it be Shank? I think the leader is Ganassi right now, but who knows? And Shank, they might be bringing a sports car team that races in Europe who has a Formula One team into IMSA. Does the team that remind rhymes with Balpine, so that might be a possibility. Them going to IMSA. So who knows? Who knows how everything's going to shake up there with IMSA drivers, teams, manufacturers. Interesting. Interesting. Durrani will be a hot free agent. Quality driver. And finally, IMSA and NBC Sports extend TV partnership. So NBC will not be losing racing for IMSA. And with that, losing NASCAR Xfinity Series, second half of that, losing IndyCar, keeping IMSA. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And now for next week's race previews.
Previews, Austria, Ethan, Formula One. Yay.
Formula One, second leg of the triple header, Austria. There's some updates to the track. They added some gravel to try and avoid people using insane amounts of the runoff. That's a good move. I like it. It'll try and keep the cars on track more because now there's going to be a penalty. We know Max Verstappen and Red Bull do great at Austria. Austria might be Lando Norris's best track, and the Ferraris and Mercedes should also be suited well for Austria. So it'll be interesting to see where the cookies crumble, see how everything plays out between those top four teams, because now there kind of is a clear top four, and then there's that fall off of everyone else. I'm always going to give the edge to Max Verstappen and Red Bull because he's Max Verstappen. And then just because Lando's so good there, I would put the McLaren's chances of doing something above Mercedes and Ferrari. But between those two teams, I mean, take your pick.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't wait for pick points. Did you mention Austria being a sprint?
I did not. Good point. Thank you for reminding me. It is a sprint weekend. So, I mean, if you like sprint weekends, enjoy, I guess. I don't know.
NASCAR, they're bringing all three series to Nashville. Yeah, you've got, what do you have? Got Cup. You have Ally 400 in the entry list going to there. You have Riley Herbst in the 15, AJ Allmendinger in the 16 this week. Got two additional entries, Corey Heim in the third 2311 car, and Chad Fincham making his NASCAR next gen debut for Power Source MBM team. See how that goes for them. Xfinity. Let's go there. This is fun on my phone, but we're doing it. Xfinity. We have your JD Motorsports cars back to the regular drivers. Cram in the 4, Smithley in the 6. In the Gibbs All-Star cars this week, you have the 19 of Ty Gibbs, 20 of John Hunter Nemechek. Sam Hunt Toyota is Tyler Reddick this week. Joey Gase's entry is TBA this week. Probably going to wind up being himself. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. 74 is listed as TBA for Mike Harmon. 88 Carson Kvapil again. 92 Ross Chastain, second DGM car. Noah Gragson pulling up for Rhett Jones. And finally, SS Greenlight cars of Emmerling in the 07, Chad Fincham in the 14. Going to the truck race, being a triple truck challenge race this week. I don't know who's competing in that for drivers. I believe it's a triple truck challenge if I remember correctly. Let me check that. I figured you'd figure there'd be a cup driver racing, but there's not, which is weird. Let me get my facts straight here. Going to Yes, it is the final leg of the triple truck challenge. So, yeah. In the cars this week, 39 entries. You have Brendan Butterbean Queen in the 5th Tricon truck this week. Clint Boyer in the 3rd Spire truck. Akinori Ogata in the 2nd Young's truck, the 20. Rayum, the 2nd and 3rd trucks this week are Frankie Muniz and Keith McGee, respectively. Dawson Sutton, the 2nd Rackley truck. Connor Jones is racing the 5th Thor Sport truck this week. Henderson is here with Stephen Parsons. Justin Carroll is here in his regular ride. Jack Wood is back in the 4th McAnally Hilgeman truck. And finally, Floridian Motorsports is there with Mason Maggio as their regular driver. Nashville Chevrolet has won every cup race there. So yeah, will that streak continue? Find out on Sunday. Ethan, I smell something in
Yes.
the air. It's that time.
What is it? What is it?
Pick points time.
What?
And now for next week's race picks.
I had a fairly good weekend last weekend.
You had pretty much the best weekend anyone has ever had.
You say that you've had the best weekend a couple weeks ago, where you gained 23 points on me in one weekend. I had the outside of that, I think that I've had the next best weekend.
The only reason that this weekend isn't better than that one though is because I had a solid weekend. I had a pretty solid weekend. You just had an amazing weekend though, like beyond amazing. How many points did you score? Let's see.
41.
Yeah, like that's insane.
41.
It's just I scored like 20 something as well. So
41 and 14 races.
Yeah.
Breaking it down, IMSA, GTP. My dad and I got the right pick there. 7 Porsche. My dad getting the 22 United. It's originally going to be the 4 CrowdStrike, but they had drive time issues. Not taking a point away from me. 14 Vassar Sullivan beat the 77 AO and GTD Pro and GTD. Windward won again. 4 out of 5 this year. Pretty dominant. Which is pretty surprising in that level of competition. They've just been it this year. In Indy next, you had Louis Foster for both races. You get
I did.
the 2 race win points of 5. I did have Louis
I
Foster in the
was
second race.
I was just hoping he would do something good in one of them. Ended up winning the both of them. So yeah, I'll take it.
In the sprint, I'm getting ahead of myself here. In Laguna Seca, Alex Palou won, making me look like a genius. In the F2 sprint, Victor Martins, he won. Isaac Hadjar was the highest finisher of the main race, getting you the point. F1 Spain podium, I had the correct order of Max, Lando, Lewis. You had Max, Lando. My dad had Lewis in third, but he did not have Max winning. He had Sergio Perez winning. Great job, Dad. But Max, he did put him on the podium second, so you did get a point there. Xfinity, I had Bell. Got me a point or 5 points for winning. Thank you, Sheldon Creed, for being addicted to second place finishing for that. And you had Kyle Larson, who beat out Joey Logano in Cup racing at New Hampshire. So that puts us, Ethan, 214, myself, 197. Guests way back there, 160. A solid.
Yeah. You caught up.
Ways
You caught up.
behind. 54 points. Furthest they've ever been back. We have Morgan doing the guest picks this weekend. Thank you, Morgan. Yay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Austria Sprint F2. Morgan thanking Prema, the power team, will turn themselves around.
Ah.
Yeah. He has Kimi winning the sprint, Oliver Behrman winning the main race.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I have Paul Aaron winning the sprint and Jack Crawford winning the feature race. He's good at Austria.
Yeah, he is. That's why I picked him
And
to win the sprint.
yeah, and he is just coming off a win, so stay hot, kid.
Yeah. I have Isaac Hadjar, who's always good in the main races, winning the main.
Yeah.
Max, we have Max
Verstappen.
winning the sprint and the main race. I'll have Norris second. 3 different drivers for third.
You have Piastri. You think he's going to bounce back?
He's going to bounce back this weekend. I feel like Mercedes is just going to be a tad off. But Morgan picking Hamilton, Lewis Hamilton.
And I took Leclerc.
Trucks. Morgan going with the points leader, Christian Eckes. I'm going with Clint Boyer because I know he's way past his prime, but when he was a race car driver, he was very good at Nashville. Let me
When
look
was
up
the
his...
last time he's even raced, though?
Oh, a while ago.
Yeah,
his final cup start was in Phoenix in 2020, but he is...
I can't trust him to just hop right back in and go get a checkered flag. I don't know. I can't just trust that, but I appreciate Clint Boyer being a pick. I appreciate that very much. Personally, though, I'm going with Corey Heim.
Heim's
never
good.
A wrong choice.
In his Xfinity starts at Nashville, in his career, Boyer has finished 4th, 3rd, 5th, 1st, 2nd, 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 4th.
Damn. That's a long streak of seconds, but yeah, he very good. Very good. It's just, he hasn't driven in a while.
Yeah. So he's got a thing for this track. So
for sure.
Maybe he can rekindle his magic, fire up his old hot rod, and go get him.
Yeah.
Xfinity goes to Nashville. Morgan going with Noah Gragson, the Cup driver. I'm going with Ty Gibbs, the Cup guy. Ethan, you're not going a Cup guy. Explain yourself.
No, he was a Cup guy for like half a race. Just an all guyer.
Well, yeah, but he
um,
actually did have a couple years in Cup, but he was not there anymore.
I don't know. I don't know. He's a solid driver. He's done well at Nashville in the past. I don't know. I guess I'm just feeling it.
All right, feel it in your spirit. Anyway, don't know what that was.
Who knows,
Morgan
man?
predicting Ty Gibbs is going to get his first one in Cup. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm going to go with Chase Elliott. He's won there before, having a solid season, second in points. So yeah, I'm picking him.
I'm going with Kyle Larson because he's very good at going fast.
Yeah, sounds about right. Anyway, people of the world, thank you for listening. And until the next time, goodbye,
Goodbye.
people.
Goodbye.
To me, it looked like he actually lost the wheel.
The wheel for Ross Chastain is still and perfect.
Wheel on the track.
Did you leave the wheel loose?
You picked the fine time to leave me loose, wheel.